Hi, my name is Dave. I'm your host. You're listening to The Last Podcast, where the first shall be last and the last shall be first. If this is your first time listening, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. I really appreciate you listening, and I hope you continue to find tips, ideas, and value from listening to this podcast. Today, I want to talk about when food becomes the mask. I know the title may seem a little ambiguous, but I know. I'm hoping you stay with me because I think the story will ring true for so many. This is more than just a story about food. It's about what we feed ourselves when we're starving for something we can't even name. I want to tell you a personal story. It's my story. It's about a time in my life when I knew something was wrong deep down inside, but couldn't put my finger on it. I didn't want to deal with it, or didn't know how to name it, or didn't know what to name it. I didn't explore it. I just lived with it. I just dulled it. I just swept it under the rug, so to speak. Yep, I did those things too. I guess you would say it's like putting a Band-Aid on a cut that required stitches. Like a dull ache you grow used to, like a limp that you learn to hide, a walk around every day with this invisible wound, smiling, working, showing up, but never really addressing the pain that pulsed beneath it all. I know a lot of you probably been there, and a lot of you are probably there now. Instead of dealing with the issue, instead of dealing with the pain or what's really happening deep down inside, I did what so many of us did. I covered it up. I masked it up. I fed it up, literally. You see, my battle with weight didn't start in the kitchen. It started in my emotions. Did you hear that? It started with my emotions. Now, I know there are a lot of people who are dealing with that. You think you got an eating problem. You think you have a weight problem. But oh boy, there's something that is lurking way beneath those issues that you have that's on the outside. It's all about what's happening on the inside. So I don't know, but there's a lot of you who probably gone through the same thing I did. My weight and all of that was born out of grief. It was born out of rejection, disappointment, and shame. I didn't eat because I was hungry. I ate because I was hurting. And at the time, I really couldn't put my fingers or my hand on it. I couldn't tell, but I knew something was wrong. I ate to escape, to forget, to numb it all. There was a time when I used to watch TV. I used to say, I want to go brain dead for a few hours. I didn't want to think about the thoughts that I was having in my head. So I used TV as a distraction. I used food as a dopamine moment of relief. When I was bored, I ate. When I felt anxious, I ate. When I felt sad, I ate. When I was overwhelmed, I ate. Sometimes, even when I was happy, I would still eat because eating had become my comfort. It became my celebration, my therapy, and my sedative all in one. Can you imagine that? I know there are a lot of people out there who are dealing with that issue right now, who saying, I don't like the way my body looks, and there is a bigger issue at hand because it's hard to deal with the weight if you still have that internal problem brewing on the inside that you don't tackle. Because the moment something goes wrong, guess what? You're back to that food. And believe me, I know I went all the way up to 305 pounds. I'm not there no more, but I was there. It was never about the food. It was about the feeling the food gave me. That brief moment when everything was okay. That warm bite of mac and cheese that told me, you're safe now. Don't worry about a thing. That sweet taste of ice cream that whispered, you don't have to feel that any longer. Feel me instead. Enjoy the moment. It will be all right. That crunch of chips that screamed louder than the voices that were in my head telling me I wasn't enough, or telling me I'm too fat, or telling me you don't matter. Whatever your voice tells you, I am telling you, you gotta deal with the problem. But here's the danger. Emotional eating is a liar. It offers relief but never heals. It quiets the symptoms, I would say, but never treats the cause. It's like slapping a Band-Aid over a deep gashing wound that needed stitches. Pretending you're okay while you're bleeding continually underneath or internally bleeding. It's not going to work. You know, I used to tell myself, it's not a big deal. Everyone eats for comfort. Sometimes, I don't know, but this wasn't sometimes, or the sometimes became daily. It was no longer about sometimes. It was about let me get comfortable. Let me be in the moment. Let me not think about what's going on in my head. I don't want to think about what I got to do to get rid of this. I don't want to drink no more. I don't want to cheat no more. I don't want to do drugs no more. There is a deeper cause. There is a deeper pain that's brewing underneath. And all these things are trying to mask what's happening. It's trying to numb that pain or whatever that void is or whatever you're missing. I told myself it was not a big deal, right? But this was me just replacing the truth with taste. I was tasting away for dopamine hits. I was moving from one addiction to a dopamine addiction. The real problem, I didn't want to face it. I didn't even want to know why. Why I felt so empty. Why I can't seem to get ahead. Why I'm going through this. Why everybody's dying. It doesn't matter. I need a dopamine hit. It will take care of everything. Why I need to eat to feel full. Why I kept going back to the fridge when I really wasn't hungry. I needed peace. I needed healing. I needed a good cry or a hard conversation. I was trying to fix my soul deep problems with surface level solutions. Oh, wow. Let me go get an ice cream. Let me go get some more cookies. That's going to take it away. And let me just eat my cookies in front of the TV so I could go brain dead and not worry about my issues, not worry about my problems. Man, oh man, was I wrong. And the most dangerous part of all, it worked momentarily. So we start to fool ourselves with that dopamine hit for 5 minutes of bliss. We start fooling ourselves for the 5 minutes that we didn't have to think or feel or face anything. But after that came the crash, the shame, the guilt. And you know what? I don't know if you ever read this book. Is called The Compound Effect. It talks about compounding life, compounding money, compounding solutions. But imagine this. Imagine you're compounding shame. Because let's face it, whatever you're going through right now, you're adding on to it by taking all these dopamine hits, by compounding so much bad food. Hence, the overweight, which causes so many other issues, heart issues, diabetes. I mean, now you're running the gambit of just saying, I just compounded my entire issue that wasn't a health issue in the beginning. Now it is an overweight issue, a health issue, and the underlying problem is still there. Oh, wow. The crash, the shame, the guilt, the tightness in my clothes, the fog in my mind, and worst of all, the realization that the pain was still there waiting for me. Oh, wow. It was just waiting. Food is not the villain. My body is not the enemy. Avoidance is. Did you hear that? Avoidance. Avoiding the truth, avoiding the pain, avoiding the healing. That's what really hurts. That's what hurts us. Avoiding whatever is wrong, whatever is going on, whatever you're thinking and saying, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to think about this no more. That's the enemy. Because until you face the real reason you're eating, you'll keep going back for more. You'll never be full. You'll be stuffed but still starving. Full but still aching. Fed but still empty. At some point, I had to stop and ask myself, what am I really hungry for? Did you ever ask yourself that? What am I really hungry for? Was it comfort? Was it connection? Was it validation? Or for some, it might be a sense of purpose, a moment of stillness in life, full chaos. That question changed everything. It led me to self-therapy, to journaling, to sitting in silence and letting the pain rise without trying to stuff it down. It led me to the truth, and that's where healing begins. So if you're listening to this and some part of you or some part of this story hits home for you, I want you to gently challenge yourself. The next time you reach for something to eat when you're not physically hungry, pause and ask yourself, what am I really feeling? What am I trying to avoid by picking this up to eat? And more importantly, what do I actually need right now? Maybe it's rest. Maybe it's a good cry. Maybe it's a phone call to someone who loves you. Or just maybe, it's forgiveness. You can go on a long walk and forgive my phone. You can go on a long walk, or you can just chill and feel whatever you're feeling and try to describe it. Get a pen and paper and describe what's happening. What are you feeling? What you're going through? And then guess what? Don't feed the pain. Feel it, face it, heal it, because you deserve more than 5 minutes of relief. You deserve a lifetime of peace. My name is Dave. You're listening to the last podcast. Hey, I share a story like this because I think there are so many people out there who are going through something that I went through years ago. And I am no longer 305 pounds, but believe me, I am a work in progress. And just like so many of you, I just wanted to share that story because I had to find out what my own issues were, and I'm glad I took the time to do that. And I encourage you, if this hit home for you, resonated some way, some form, some fashion, do me a favor, do the work. And if you just need a little helping hand, just hit me up at the last podcast at 443@gmail.com and pick my brain. I'll be more than happy to see if there's something I could do to help you along the way. Again, my name is Dave. You're listening to the last podcast, and subscribe, like this podcast. I really appreciate you listening. Thank you so much, and have a blessed day. So long.